So Oprah Winfrey admits to drinking 17 shots of tequila in one night, and it says that the weight loss drug Ozempic or Wegovy helped her give up alcohol. In that same article, she says that she will be on that drug for life because as soon as she stopped using it, she gained back 20 pounds really fast. And she compared the drug to her blood pressure medication. She says, quote, "If I stop taking my blood pressure medication, my blood pressure is going to go up." And the weight loss drug is pretty much the same. Using these medications for weight loss, as successful as they are, you're only renting your results. Because as soon as you stop the drug, the weight comes back on for a couple of reasons. And there's a main reason that no one's talking about. But one of the reasons that much of the weight loss, a good percentage of the weight loss that's lost on Ozempic and Wegovy is muscle mass. And when you lose muscle mass and you create a void in the body abhors a void. Therefore, as soon as you stop the medication, it's got to fill that gap. So the fastest thing to fill it up with is fat. Makes sense, right? It's harder to gain muscle. You got to earn muscle. You do not have to earn fat. The other part that no one's talking about is that these drugs don't change your emotional behavior to food. They synthetically shut down the brain's need for it or craving for it, but no one's ever talking about the ability to emotionally regulate. So you got a billionaire who actually now owns a weight loss company. She owns Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers opens up a telemedicine division to prescribe Ozempic and Wegovy to their patients because their weight release program wasn't able to keep up with the success of the massive weight loss coming from these weight loss drugs. Is there a place for these weight loss drugs in the world? Absolutely. The problem is that they're being overprescribed, overdosed to have major side effects, stomach paralysis. In some cases, potentially thyroid cancer. The safety of them, even though they've been around for, a decade or more, they're not really talking about the downsides. But if you look at the actual small print on the packaging, it tells you it's a lifetime drug. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be on a big pharma drug for the rest of my life. And this is the downside of being prescribed a medication. True story, my story. At 19 years old, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I was an athlete, just graduated high school, prepping to go to college, and I pass out on my job. And I have high blood pressure. My parents had high blood pressure. They said, "Oh, it's hereditary, you have it." Any doctor should have wondered why a 19-year-old athlete has high blood pressure. No one bothered to go deeper into the conversation and see if I was emotionally regulated, if I was stressed out, if there was something else going on. They put me on a medication, my blood pressure medication. I was on that medication for 40 years. I've been off high blood pressure medication for the last 5 years by giving my body the missing enzymes that it needed, that I found out later that I didn't need. When you're prescribed the medication and also diagnosed with a disease or ailment, you're basically being given a life sentence to be on that drug. Oprah Winfrey is convinced herself that she cannot be without this drug, otherwise she's gonna gain weight back. Because Oprah Winfrey never learned how to emotionally regulate. She's got all the fucking money in the world, and she still can't be with her primary emotions: happy, sad, mad, glad, afraid, shame, or sexual feelings. In the Soul Body Mind Fit method, the reason why we release weight, and the reason why I authored a book, Stop Losing Weight, Release It, is because no one's talking about the big picture. No one's talking about why you're eating the food in the first place, why you're distracting, why you're moving into a place of comfort with food or alcohol. No one's having a deeper conversation that why did Oprah need to drink 17 shots of tequila in one night? What was she not wanting to feel? Who was she afraid that she cannot be without 17 shots of tequila? Think about it. You got one of the richest women in the world. Now, granted, I commend her for her transparency. I commend her for her honesty. But no one looks past or deeper than the surface conversation. That here's a woman with all this influence is basically telling you that I use this drug to lose weight finally after 60 years of trying, and I cannot be without it for the rest of my life because I'm dependent on it. Because when I stop it, I gain the weight back. She's actually giving you a big warning that once you use this drug, you are getting a result, you're renting a result that is temporary. And that as soon as you stop using the drug, you start feeling again. No one's having that conversation. Yes, part of it's because you're losing muscle and the muscle has to replace itself with fat. But after it does that, the reason why the weight keeps coming back is that you're not understanding how to be with the emotions that are coming up in your body. Your nervous system goes back to fight or flight. And when it sends a signal that you're not safe, the body's safety mechanism is putting fat around your body, your organs, in order to protect you from perceived impact. Let that land. There is a better way. It does require you to be willing to play the inside game. It does require you to be willing to sit with and be with these emotions. Between 0 and 7, you created meanings of events that happened to your life. Many of us have traumas that are sometimes unthinkable. But in those trauma years, in those formative years between 0 and 7, we created all the meanings to all the things that happened to us. And then we either keep creating those meanings over time as we 20, 30, 40, 50, 64 like me, until you start understanding what connected the dots, what was the event, what was the meaning you created, and is it true with a capital T? 99% of them are not true. They're stories that we made up. Even to say that 80% of our memories are not even accurate. They're either stories that were told to us or fragments of partial memories. And the sad part is about trauma, and especially in those younger years, the biggest trauma is not the actual event that happened to you. It is the not having the safe environment, either with your parents or caregivers, in a place where you could actually tell somebody how you felt and what happened in your time. But I digress. If you're using these weight loss drugs to lose weight, just know you'll find it. Whatever we lose, we're programmed to find. It is a subconscious mechanism that is an automatic pilot. And that, in my opinion, after 17 years of being in the game, the only way to permanently release fat and release weight and release the trauma is actually facing it. It's actually being aware of it. Awareness precedes choice. Once you're aware of the automatic mechanisms, that your go-to triggers that want you to either go to food, alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever you want to call it, and you start to be with those emotions, and you start to reparent those inner children, because between 1 and 7, once 0 and 7, those inner children lock themselves in time, and they show up in our lives repeatedly over and over and over again. Ask yourself, every time you sabotage yourself from your diet, who was in the room? Ask yourself, were you under duress? Were you angry, sad, fearful, in a shame loop? Did you have a story running, an old story that it always stops? You always start losing weight at a certain weight. This always happens. You're not disciplined enough. You're not enough. Not enoughness is a big, huge pain point for most adults. So Oprah was transparent in some degree, but Oprah also benefits from a company that prescribes millions and millions and millions of doses of the same drug that she's addicted to. It is a PR campaign to make money, and it's also her truth, because she has not learned how to emotionally regulate. This message lands, and you need help in this arena, and you want someone to show you the path to releasing weight permanently. Holla at your boy. If you found this video helpful, like the channel, share the video, comment, leave me a comment. Are you on one of these drugs? Do you feel like you're stuck on the cycle? Do you want to get off the treadmill? Are you afraid to stop it? Are you afraid that the weight's going to come back? You can use these medications in a way that, as you turn off the noise, the food noise, is you learning how to trust your body. So the mind doesn't tell you what you want to eat. Your body tells you what it wants to eat. And I can tell you right now, when the body is telling you what it wants to eat, it doesn't crave shit. It craves nourishment. It's going to tell you when it needs more water. It's going to tell you when it needs more protein, carbs, and fats. It's not going to tell you it wants cookies. That's the brain. That's the emotional trigger from a long time ago coming up in your stressed state, in your dysregulated state. As soon as you trigger the sympathetic nervous system to go to fight or flight, to react, in order to want to calm itself from something outside of itself, which is usually food, drink, or something else, you know you're in the cycle. And once you're able to stop the cycle and speak the truth to yourself and ask yourself, what are you feeling? Where it is in your body? What do you need? Just stop for that second and ask those questions and actually be with that moment. You can watch and feel your nervous system settling down, and the craving passes. Now, you may have to do it 100 times a day, but is it worth creating a new discipline in order to learn how to treat your body in a way that you listen to it versus sabotage it? Anyway, hope this lands. Namaste. Peace.